Hello, Scottsdale. Welcome to another episode of Today and Tomorrow in Scottsdale with Don and Kevin.
Hi, greetings. Greetings, Don.
You'd be Kevin, right?
That's right.
Sometimes I got to check because I can't tell,
Are you still hiking a lot?
I haven't been hiking for a little while, but I need to get back out there.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially with our guest today. We'll have to talk a little
That's
bit about
why I
hiking
asked.
for sure, because that's one of my favorite trails is out there where our guest is from, in fact. In fact, today's guest is helping to lead one of Scottsdale's most treasured natural resources on into the future. Her name is Angy Shearer. She's the CEO of the McDowell Sonoran Conservancy, and she oversees the stewardship of more than 30,000 acres of protected desert preserve, and get this, Kevin, over 225 miles of trails. With a background in nonprofit leadership, fundraising, community engagement, she comes well prepared and brings her passion for conservation, education, and connecting people to the Sonoran Desert. Welcome, Angy.
Thank you. Thank you for having me today.
Great to have you here. It's always great to get new guests, Kevin.
Absolutely.
You
That
know?
resume sounds like a lot of responsibility.
It sure does. There's a lot of to-dos on there.
Yeah.
That's for sure. We always love to start with getting a little background on our guests. So tell us a little about where you grew up and how it is you came to where you are today.
Yeah, absolutely. And just to reflect on what you just said, this job is not for the faint of heart.
Yeah.
So I grew up in South Bend, Indiana, and I lived there for, most of my life. Then I moved to Tucson, and I really got into nonprofits there and kicked off my career, working my way up from, just a grant writer all the way up to associate vice president of major gifts.
At the United Way, right?
Yeah. I was there for 5 years. I loved that job. And then, I needed a change. Almost 20 years in human services is a lot. I felt like I did all I needed to do there, and I wanted to be surrounded by beautiful things. So I moved up to Scottsdale, and here I am at the preserve.
But you had a little stopping point in between there. Talk about what your experiences at Taliesin.
Yes, I got to be their vice president of advancement, which is just a fancy word to describe fundraising. And I was there for 16 months, and I loved every second of it. What a beautiful site. It's a UNESCO World Heritage Site in our backyard. A lot of local people actually haven't been there, so I highly encourage them to go take a tour. It's beautiful, and it's just one of the world's best architects, in our backyard. And so you don't want to miss out on that.
It's one of the best kept secrets in Scottsdale, actually.
Have you been recently?
Oh, I used to be on the board of stewards, man.
That's right.
Yeah.
What are you thinking? You've been on every board, advisory commission there is. One thing I want to do if I ever retire is I was thinking it'd be fun to be a tour guide there.
It would be.
But that's a lot of work, I bet, isn't it?
Yeah. It is, but it's meaningful, and you get to be outside, you get fresh air and exercise, and you get to meet people from all over the world.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's true. Well, you're talking about wanting to be a tour guide at Taliesin or the preserve? Because you get two tour guides at either one,
That's
right?
true. That's
Yeah.
a good point.
Yeah.
I was thinking a long time ago, but I never considered that. All right, we can find out about it right now.
Well, you know what? Because you're right next to each other out there anyway, so we can just kind of go back and forth, man. It's like they're neighbors out there anyhow. So the Conservancy, we talked about this before. It sounds daunting to steward more than 30,000 acres of preserve land. What does that responsibility look like on a day-to-day basis?
Yeah, it's wonderful. So we've had this partnership with the city of Scottsdale for 35 years. And so they and the citizens own the land, and then we are the ones who are like the guardian angels of the land. So if trails need maintenance, we do that. We patrol the area to make sure visitors have a good experience and they're safe. We have trailhead ambassadors, and you'll see them welcoming, everyone to the different trailheads, and they're the ones who help you pick out a hike and ask you what you're in the mood for that day. They also are the ones who encourage you to have water and sunscreen and wear hats. So we want you to be safe and have a good experience. And then we do community education. So we're out raising awareness about the Conservancy and the preserve. And then we also do a lot of lectures, which is wonderful too.
I go to Lost Dog Trail. That's my hiking.
So you're Lost
That's
Dog
my
guy.
go-to, yeah.
Yeah.
And I usually hike by myself because it's a good time for like meditation or whatever and melding with nature. But I always feel comforted when I'm like way out, 2-3 miles out, and I run into one of the volunteers. Just kind of good to know they're out there sometimes.
Really?
Yeah. Because they're by yourself.
So they go deep.
They go deep. They're out walking the trails all the time, right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
And so you see them out there, just like, because when you're out there 3 miles all by yourself, what if you, bust an ankle or have a problem? But just kind of good good to know that they're out there. You
Yeah.
know? So you have volunteers are a big deal for what you do at the Conservancy, right?
Absolutely.
You wouldn't be able to do it without them.
That's what the whole model is based on, is volunteers, because, there's no way you can pay enough people to steward and take care of that land. So that was the deal. If, the city bought the land, then we would have a team of volunteers that would take care of it. So as the preserve grew, our volunteer program grew. And we're the ones out there in the blue shirts when you're out taking your hike, and that's considered patrol. So they'll do it on foot or on a bike, and just make sure that the visitors are safe and having a good time and no one's in distress.
Right.
But if they are, we're trained to take care of that as well.
Kevin, that could be your next volunteer opportunity.
Maybe.
man.
Yeah.
How many volunteers do you guys? You guys have a lot, right?
Yeah, we have over 600.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
You couldn't do it without them for sure, right?
Absolutely not. And that number stays pretty steady. So
Does it?
as people roll off, we get as many people.
Do you ever have a void where you're having trouble getting more volunteers?
Not that I have seen.
Really?
No.
That's why-
They are very self-sufficient, and they are very proud of what they do, and they recruit. Those trailhead ambassadors are out there recruiting too. So
Are
if
they
you're having a
really?
good time, they'll welcome you into the family if you're a regular.
So you must be doing something good to keep people coming back to volunteer. So what's your volunteer sort of benefit program look like? How do you keep them engaged?
So the volunteers are amazing. They're the ones who come up with the model. They come up with their own training. They recruit their own, volunteers. So we, as the staff, just support what they've already built. They've been working on this program for 35 years, so it's just fine-tuning it. So I became a steward myself after I became the CEO in December.
Probably a good idea.
Yeah. So it took about 20 hours, right? So
Okay.
so you get a lot of education. You get desert safety, so you know how to do CPR and how to, if somebody needs help, how to get them help quickly. And then just all the things, all the 8 programs that you can join as a steward are highlighted, so you can pick what's right for you.
They're out there to give you instructions. So I've run across rattlesnakes out there probably 10 times.
Have you really?
A lot. I've seen them a lot, and they're not a problem as long as you're paying attention.
Absolutely.
But people sometimes are a little scared about coming out certain times of the year, thinking of whether the snakes are out there or not. I don't know that I've ever heard of anybody getting bitten by a rattlesnake out in the preserve, have they?
It's very low. I mean, it does happen occasionally, but a rattlesnake isn't there waiting to pounce on you as you
right.
walk by. They're generally sunning themselves or relaxing, and so they're startled. And if you just back up and give them a lot of room, you're fine. They're not fast either, so you can definitely get around them quickly.
You can outwalk them.
Yes. And if you're not comfortable going around, then you just back up, turn around, and go the other way.
Go the other way,
Yeah.
right? Always get a kick out of people hiking out there with their earbuds in.
Yeah.
Because one of the things that you realize with the snakes is you hear them before you see them.
Absolutely.
So if you got earbuds in, you could walk right onto one.
Do you walk with earbuds?
No way.
don't? Oh, you don't?
No way.
No, I highly recommend not using earbuds, but you do see it quite often. And that's another problem with, people on bicycles. You don't hear them either ring their bell or they're coming. So, you should enjoy the nature, but maybe, earbud free.
So how's the seasonal activity work? I know it's going to be obviously a lot less people in the summertime, but it's pretty much people out there all the time, right? Particularly early in the day during the summer.
Yeah, we start to wind down because a lot of our volunteers are snowbirds, so we probably lose half of them. And so by the end of May, we'll stop doing the Trailhead Ambassador where they're welcoming, but we do patrol all year round. And once it hits 100 degrees, we're not in the preserve. It's too hot.
Yeah.
People shouldn't be hiking at that point.
No, they really should. It's even tough in the summer going out early in the morning, just making sure you get off the trail in time before it gets real hot out there.
Are you still open though? Just hiring ambassadors.
Yeah, it's still open,
Okay.
dawn to dusk, but there's no ambassadors.
Are there some other city parks I read about that are actually starting to close now because of the heat, or other cities, or? what am I
I'm
thinking
not an
about?
expert on that, so I'm not sure.
Phoenix shuts down the Camelback Mountain.
Is that what? Yeah, is that what it is? I was
So
reading.
you see that from time to time because they have a lot of problems. That's a harder hike
Yeah.
than a lot of the stuff out in the preserve here because that's a lot of climbing and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
So you certainly see a lot more scenes of hikers being rescued, particularly in the summertime. So they do close down Camelback Mountain. Phoenix does, and maybe even Pistachio Peak. I don't remember if they closed that or not, but you've never closed the preserve at all, have you?
The only time we close it is for 4th of July. So
you
it's
do?
completely closed, and we have stewards around the entire preserve because we don't want people to sneak in there and set off fireworks.
Yeah, good point.
Oh, okay.
So speaking of that, how's it shaping up in terms of the dry season here? What are What are your concerns?
It's always nervous, right? Like the invasive grasses have all dried out, and they're the ones that fuel a fire if there is one. So, we do our best to have fuel breaks and things like that. So if a fire does break out, it's not going to reach homes.
Yeah.
But honestly, the best prevention is just keeping on top of those grasses.
Grasses are unbelievable. When you hike out there, Kevin, they're all over the place.
Yeah.
And I think they're all non-native, so that they all were brought here by either wind or people or birds or whatever. But they're just crazy. It's crazy with all the grass out there. When it dries off, you're right. It's like tinder.
Yes.
For sure. So residents love the preserve, but I don't think a whole lot of people know exactly what happens out there behind the scenes. So talk a little bit about what you do besides the hiking trails, which everybody gets a chance to experience that. But there's a lot more going on out there from a scientific research standpoint and all kinds of other things. So
Yes.
what else is going on behind the scenes?
So we are lucky enough to have 3 scientists on staff, which is amazing. So we have somebody who specializes in all the plants and one that specializes in the animals. So we have all kinds of studies and surveys going on. We have 60 wildlife cameras out there that monitor the wildlife. We've been doing this so long that we now have 10 years of baseline data, and that's really important because if you see something change in the trend, something's going wrong in the preserve, and our job is to keep it healthy, which is why we have these scientists. So as soon as we see that, we immediately work with the city and come up with a solution, depending on if it's an animal, a plant, what we need to do. But that's what the scientists are there for, is to make sure that preserve stays pristine,
Yeah.
so we leave it in better condition for the next generation.
You're doing some pretty cool research out there too, in terms of desert plants and so forth. And I think don't you also work with the Desert Botanical Garden and some other folks like that in terms of some of the research that you do?
Yeah, I mean, native plants are very important. It's really hard to get a hold of those seeds, especially if there is a fire. You have to have those on hand because you have to get them out immediately to outgrow those invasives. And so the Botanical Gardens has a wonderful warehouse full of seeds that we can pull from, which is a lovely thing. We also partner with the Scottsdale Community College. They have a greenhouse out there.
That's right.
And so that's where a lot of the baby swallows are that we
Right.
have for years. And so we just planted, I think, over 100 of them in the diamond fire that was in 2023.
Oh, you did? Oh, okay.
Yeah. So the stewards are the ones who go out and dig all the holes. So our construction and maintenance dig the holes.
Right.
And then they'll go and plant all the cacti. And then our citizen science team goes and waters the swallows over the summer, and then they measure them to make sure they're on point and healthy.
Thriving, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And so we're proud to say, in the 2 years we planted them, we have a 95% survival rate with the swallows, which is unbelievable. It's generally in the 70s when people do that kind of work, but
Yeah.
because of our scientists and the research they did and where they plant them and how they take care of them. And I'm telling you, these stewards go out 4 o'clock in the morning, the city has big vats of water.
That's about the water, right? Yeah.
They take gallon jugs and they water every single one of those until they get,
Really?
until they get settled into the ground, and then they back off the water so that then they can acclimate to the environment.
After they get healthy, sorrels don't need much water.
Correct.
After they get to the
Right.
point where they're at least going to be able to survive, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
It's your point of viability, huh?
Yeah, but we wouldn't know any of that without our scientists. They study all of that, where to plant it, what shade they need, what side it needs to be planted on, how much water, when to water. Like, it's pretty amazing to watch them work.
That is cool.
Yeah.
I want to go back to wildlife cameras for a second. What's the most exciting wildlife your cameras have caught?
A bear.
A bear?
We
What?
got the
Yeah.
black bear on camera.
Really?
Right. Wandered down from the mountains, huh?
Yeah, just a little cub. They think that he got kicked out because the food was scarce, but we cannot confirm.
I hate when I hear stories like that.
Yeah.
I know, right?
Oh, man.
Any mountain lions?
There's definitely mountain lions, but they're more elusive. It's very hard to see one if you're just out hiking.
But
They
your
come
cameras
out.
have got some?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Desert skunks, which I didn't even know that was a thing, which is
I don't
interesting.
think I've ever seen a desert skunk either.
Lots of mule deer, javelina, coyote, like the normal animals you would think of.
I always figure when I'm hiking out there somewhere that there's a mountain lion out there looking at me that I can't see.
Yeah.
Just figure, because they'll spot you and they'll probably won't come near you, but I just kind of figure they're out there somewhere, you
Yeah.
know. I'll never see them.
No?
It'd be unusual, but they're sure as heck going to see me, right?
Yeah.
You're more likely to see a bobcat than you are a mountain lion.
I've seen bobcats on the golf courses out there.
Yeah, I know, they're
So,
very friendly.
Right. Well, that's because they have easy eating with all the rabbits out there.
Oh my God,
Which
yes.
is kind of interesting. So, what are some of the research projects that you're doing? Besides, tell me a little bit more about what that looks like.
Yeah, and so, there's certain species you want to keep track of to make sure that the preserve is healthy. So we do bat surveys, tortoise telemetry, where, they have GPS on them so you can find them. We have a very passionate team that does this.
Is that right?
Yes,
Wow.
absolutely. So that's,
Pretty slow moving GPS.
Yeah, I was to say.
they're pretty elusive.
Are they?
Yeah,
Okay.
and then, butterfly surveys, bird surveys. So, we do keep track of a lot of the different wildlife. And then you have the phenology team that goes out and checks on all the plants to make sure they're thriving. And if there's any issues, they'll take that back to the scientists. And then that's how data and, research and experiments come into play, is because somebody identifies something and brings it back.
That'd be kind of fascinating to see how that all works. All that activity is going. Nobody ever realizes all that activity that's happening out there.
I know. I bet you that tortoise team they have names, I bet, right?
Oh my God! And they're numbered, and so they're like, number 20 is mine.
Right.
Like they are very
Yeah.
connected to their tortoise.
Yeah, they're passionate about it, I bet.
So
Yeah.
they're tracking them. They can go actually see where they are and kind of spot
Yeah,
them too,
make
right?
sure they're healthy. Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely.
Yeah. Are you tracking any other animals besides?
Not like that.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So what surprised you during your first few months? You came from a big fundraising background and you got a little bit more toward nature at Taliesin West, but what surprised you in your first couple? You've been there 5 months now.
Yeah.
What surprised you the most during your first few months of the Conservancy?
Yeah, just the number of volunteers and how passionate they are. It's just been such a pleasure. I've never run an organization with 600 volunteers before, and I just can't believe how welcoming and friendly and passionate. So that was a nice surprise. But also, I like to hike with a lot of the volunteers, so I'm out a lot. And at one point, it actually dawned on me when I was looking around, like, oh my God, like, I'm the one now in charge of making sure this is going to be sustained and we have it for the next generation. And it just hit me like a ton of bricks. And I was just like, okay, I can't mess this up.
No pressure. No pressure.
And were you a hiker before?
Yeah, in Tucson, where I lived for quite a while. I
some great
love
hiking spots
hiking.
around.
Oh my God, yes, absolutely.
I went on a hike down there near Tanca Verde Ranch once. Like a 5 mile hike. That was probably the most beautiful hike I've ever been on.
Yes.
It was amazing.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah, the topography is a little different down there. You're a little bit higher elevation, so you get a
Yeah.
lot more vegetation and so
Is that in the
forth.
Catalina Mountains or?
I think Tanca Verde is a Catalinas. No, it's up. It's just Speedway all the way east. I'm not sure what the mountain range is out there.
Okay.
Yeah, it's
The Catalina's on the north side.
north side. That's right. Yeah. But it's just gorgeous out there, man. For sure, it's gorgeous here too.
Yes. I think that's the difference between Tucson and here is how well marked these trails are
Yeah.
compared to what they do there. I mean, it's beautiful in both ways, but here I feel a lot safer. I have a map, I have signs, I have people wandering around that can help
Good
me.
point.
Yeah. So you have a lot more confidence going out in nature here.
The trail when I hiked the one there, Tanca Verde, was with somebody who hiked it all the time, and so she got us around where we were going. So, without her as a guide, I'm not sure I would have made it.
Yeah.
But it was really cool. But the opportunities we have in this desert climate, whether it's Tucson, Phoenix, whatever, Scottsdale, such amazing things to think about when you're out on a trail for a couple of miles and realize you're still in an urban setting, but you're still out in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
Feels like in the middle of the desert, man.
Yeah.
It's fantastic.
And you obviously have a lot of visitors in the wintertime that come out there. Do you think that they kind of sort of passively discover the preserve while they're here and decide it's a good idea? Or do you think that do they come here to hike in the preserve, do you think?
Yeah, I think it's a mix.
Is it like a destination?
Absolutely.
Is it? Okay.
So when I was chatting with Experience Scottsdale, like everybody they bring in internationally always wants to go to the preserve. And so we'll help with guided hikes to make
Okay.
sure, they have a good experience. But they're coming to see something you can't see anywhere else in the world, right? And it's magical and magnificent. And people come here to hike that preserve. People come back here and they'll stay for a month at an Airbnb because they want to come and spend time in the preserve. And eventually, a lot of our stewards, that's how we got them, is they would come out and visit, and then they ended up buying a house and then becoming a steward when they retired.
Really?
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Yeah. Before I forget, what's your favorite trail?
I love Lost Dog too.
Oh, there we go. Yeah, I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's different angles you can take a lost dog. So there's a couple different places you can go.
Yeah.
So it gets some variety that way.
Yep.
Yeah, that's my go-to as well. It's the easiest drive for me. So
Yeah, and it's a different climate. The South Preserve is much more rocky and feels more rustic, where the North Preserve is a little more refined because it's got like the crushed granite trails, and it's easier to hike. So if you want to talk, I would recommend the North because you don't have to look down the whole time on where you're going.
Yeah.
Oh, I got to tell you, I like to not talk when I'm on the trail. Just take in nature, man. You know,
No earphones.
no phones.
Just
No
watching the
buzz.
Bobcats are watching you.
Watching the bobcats. You know, the funny thing is when you're on the trail and you got a couple of chatty cats that are somewhere else on the trail,
Yeah.
they could be half a mile away and you can hear them.
Is that right?
And just like, I'm like, shut up.
Really? Irritates you.
Yeah, well, yeah, it probably should, but you're out there, you know, when you're out there,
Yeah.
you get into a whole new mindset.
Yeah. Well,
know?
it's pristine and they're distributing. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you talk about, you still do a lot of student activities. Do you partner with SUSD or
Yes.
what kind of programming do you have for young people out there?
Yeah, right now we do a lot with 3rd and 4th graders, and so we'll bring them out for field trips, and we have a steward group, of course, that does the youth education and teaches them about the preserve, because that's how we're trying to get the next generation involved and excited about it. So we have a lot of interactive games, teaching lessons. Kids love it. And then we will go in the classrooms as well in case they can't make it out into the preserve itself, because that's a long haul for some people. So the stewards will go there and educate them on the different animals and play different games and hopefully encourage them to come out in the preserve with their family.
It's cool getting the young kids involved early, isn't it?
It is.
You know,
Yeah.
they become fans and probably lifetime fans after that.
Future
Absolutely.
scientists, and there's probably a future scientist in there.
Right, yeah.
They're the future of everything, honestly. You know, 600 stewards don't magically appear out of nowhere.
No. It's got to be ingrained in the culture of the
Yes.
community for sure.
Yes.
So what do you look at as you look down the road 5 years from now, 10 years from now? What are some of the things that you're thinking about would be part of your strategy?
Yeah, right now we're really refining the model and making sure that we have it packaged so that when it is time for the next generation to come take over, we're handing them all the lessons learned and best practices we have as far as the steward program and the science program. We'll have a stronger, better partnership with the city as we grow. We do more experiments and research with them, and we just are so excited about the future and making sure we keep it pristine. And I think those are our top 2 things. It's really just making sure it's prepared for the next generation, because it's our turn to take care of it now, but it's going to be their turn, in a decade. I won't be here. It's going to be somebody else sitting in this chair.
You haven't given up your fundraising hat either. You still got to do fundraising,
I love
right?
fundraising. It's in my DNA. I can't help
Really?
myself.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. I'm a rare breed.
People who like fundraising,
saying.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys used to do an annual breakfast?
Yeah.
I remember doing that. I signed up to give money every year at that breakfast, but they're still taken from me, which is great. But any events that you got coming up from a fundraising standpoint?
So not until the fall because it's so hot
Right.
now. But we do the Summit Society breakfast is what
Okay.
you're referring to. And I'm having a new special venue. So that's for our $1,000 and above givers.
Okay.
And then we do the Tour to Scottsdale bike race is our number one event. And we just had that back in March. So 3,000 riders around North Scottsdale.
Okay, wait a minute. I've
That's
heard
us.
of the tour to Scottsdale. I've been trying to get somebody on there for this podcast, but what does it do with the preserve?
It's our event. We own the event.
You
It's our
do?
It's our number one fundraiser.
I didn't know
Absolutely.
that.
Yeah. We partner with Perimeter Bicycling and the city, but it's our event.
Does it go through the preserve?
No, absolutely
Okay, I
not.
was going to say, yeah.
It goes around
It goes.
the preserve.
Yeah.
So,
So-
it's scenic and beautiful, but
That's
yeah,
fantastic, yeah.
it's our number one, and it's the best kept secret. We have to do better marketing around that.
Yeah, we're going to reach out to you next year because we're
Yeah,
trying to
we'll
get
talk
somebody
about
from that event on the podcast.
Oh yeah,
March.
Yep.
March timeframe. Okay.
Yeah. So next year it'll be April 10th.
Okay.
But yeah, you just shoot me an email. I'll be here.
Okay.
Let me know when your breakfast is too. I didn't. I thought you discontinued them. You've been doing them every year still.
Yeah, I think there
Okay.
was a couple years that it did get
Yeah, COVID or
discontinued.
whatever, yeah,
But
okay.
we brought them back. So
Okay.
the last event I did at the David Dodge House at Taliesin West.
Oh, you did?
Yeah,
Yeah,
so it's
that's-
privately owned. It's a beautiful,
Yeah.
beautiful property.
No, it's right in the preserve too.
So now I got to raise the bar and find something even more fabulous for this October. So you won't want to miss it.
Why do I have a feeling you're going to figure that out?
Yeah,
She's smiling. She's got ideas already.
Yeah.
man,
I got
for
things
sure.
in the works.
For sure. Angie, great conversation. Kevin, another great example of wonderful people making things happen in Scottsdale.
The preserve is such a treasure for Scottsdale. That's one thing that everybody in Scottsdale, no matter where you are, if you disagree with somebody, we all agree that the preserve is a valued jewel of our community.
You know, it's like a third of our landmass, the city landmass, and you think about that, and that's a commitment. And I think that foresightful leaders made a long time ago, then it's never lost its momentum.
Yeah.
You know, people have been bought into it. You're right. It's one of our crown jewels, man, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, and we're proud to be the nonprofit partner that gets to go in there and take care of that property.
No pressure.
None
Not
at all.
Yeah.
You're the steward of everything now, the steward of our most successful jewel in the city. So no pressure.
Yeah.
You got this. You got this. You're smiling, and you got it all the way. So what a pleasure it's been for you to be with us today, and sure appreciate that, Kevin. What a jewel this has been, huh?
Yeah. Thanks so much for coming, Angie.
My pleasure.
And thanks to all of you for listening. We'll be back again soon with another episode of Today and Tomorrow in Scottsdale.